Okay, cool. So those of you that are on, if you don't know me, I am Croydon Wheeler coming to you from the Gold Coast of Australia, and rank 8 with this company, this awesome company, Prove It. And this is just a call for all you chiropractors out there, specifically just talking about this opportunity and catching up with Dustin and Michael Rutherford, the top earners in the company, who are absolutely crushing it, and just giving you, again, the big picture that's happening right now. So just to let you know my story, I got introduced to this August last year. And at the time, I had 2 fitness studios, and those 2 fitness studios used up all my time. And you could be in the same boat with your chiropractic practice. And although I loved it, I knew that there was no way I could go on holidays and see this amazing world, because it was going to chew money. And I would come back thinking, do I still have a business with the stuff that I had, etc. So with 2 businesses going, this opportunity came. And the reason why I went all in with this was because the avenue that it was going to give me, which was time to travel, the money, and also time, which is my most important commodity. I wanted to wake up every day knowing that I had complete control. I could decide whatever I wanted to do. And so I decided to go all in. Now, 2 weeks into the company, I went all in with Joe, who introduced it to me, who's on this call, and he might talk later. But I spent all the money coming in, and then I spent more to go to the Keto Academy in Tampa, Florida last year. And that's when I saw the bigger vision. I knew that if I didn't go all in with this and be engaged with this company and really step up and just go for it, then I'm definitely going to miss out on a big opportunity. And although I'm only 10 months in and it's completely turned my life around, and I've never made so much money before per month and residually, and I'm able to travel now and wake up every day with the time, I've still got a lot of work to do, and I still want to achieve more, because this company is the fastest nutrition company in the world right now. And there's a big piece of the pie that any of you guys can and take advantage of. So I just wanted to throw that out there. So, because you guys could be in the same boat. And I'll just text Michael saying we're on, because he's going to come on now. And we'll take it from there. So we'll just wait for him to come on. But yeah, again, for whatever reason, right? I wanted to get this call done, because you guys really need to see the bigger picture that's going on. And you know, the top earners in a company that are now earning, you know, 200,000+ per month are not healthcare professionals. And that's what I wanted to cover today, was more that, you know, we are getting too bogged down and not expanding our vision outside of our practices or outside of our fitness studios or anything like that, and realizing that if we can tap into the community, you can see some massive movement with your business. So, Joe, did you just want to pitch in as well with anything before Michael jumps on and Dustin jumps on?
Yeah, sure. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
It doesn't look like you can see me. I don't know how to do that, but that's okay. I got a little bit of internet issues. So yeah, I mean, I would love to chime in. This is, you know, when I got into network marketing, I partnered up with some healthcare professionals, and I always envisioned for Australia, for the United States, a product line that would come along.
Hey, Joe,
I saw Prove It. I saw that, you know, everybody that I saw.
Your internet's a bit scratchy.
Top of their game.
And I also know that
Michael's on now anyway.
Jumped on. So everyone, welcome Michael Rutherford. He is an absolute gun. He's mentored me through so much, and he is a legend level with this company. He is a go-getter for sure, brings heaps of fire. I'm going to shut up. Michael, welcome to the chiropractic community.
What the heck are you supposed to say to that? Did you just say I bring heaps of fire? Hey, you guys, what's up? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we're good.
All right, cool. Sorry, I'm a couple minutes late. I just stepped out of we're doing a keto mixer and workshop in Portland, Oregon. There's like 110 people in the other room. They're playing a mixer video that is me and Dustin in the video. I'm actually wearing the same shirt in that video as I am right now, so it looks a little bit weird. But they just got a bunch of people in there that are fired up about ketones. So we came up for the night, going to do a couple of hours worth of an event, launch a bunch of people, kick off this part of America, and keep on rolling and go home tomorrow. But I'm excited to be on. Is everybody on this Zoom right now already a promoter, or do you have any guests on the Zoom right now?
I'm pretty sure we're all promoters right now.
Very cool. Well, I know y'all have some different outcomes. Do you have any I have a couple, like just topics that I'm pretty fired up about at the moment. Any particular one that you guys have kind of said and premised the call with necessarily?
I mean, one of the main outcomes is obviously everyone on the call are experts in their field. And I just want you to explain, like, the top earners in the company are not experts, and the importance of not being that expert, and, you know, just being
right
into the community and knowing how to pass on a lot of the information to actually expand the business and get out of people's practice, etc.
For sure. No, I mean, that's the toughest part. Dustin Schaefer, I'm not sure if he'll make this Zoom or not. I know he's chasing, both ends of the candle. But like when we sat down and talked, I was just real clear with him. I said, look, you can take your 15 years of ketogenic diet expertise, all the knowledge you have about the human body and physiology and just all the systems of the human body, like the muscular systems, like he knows so much, just like you guys do. But that's also like in our business, that's his ceiling. Like it's a self-inflicted ceiling, because in his world, you want to be an expert. You don't want your OBGYN to say, hold on, let me go ask a colleague that question. You don't want your CPA to go, hold on, let me go ask a colleague that question, or your investment advisor to say, I don't know, I'm not really sure. But in our world, it empowers people when you're not unbelievable. So we have this third-party validation like model that works for us. So I said, Dustin, your role is not to be the keto expert. You're already the keto expert, and you help hundreds of people. I'm not the keto expert, and I'll help hundreds of thousands of people. You just got to come to grips with the fact that I'm going to beat your ass at helping people. But because I'm going to help way more people than you, I'm going to out cash flow you 10 to 1. And I was like, I'm not better than you, but in this context, I will out earn you. I will have more fun. I'll work less, and I'll help more people. I was like, keto knowledge is not what helps lots of people. Dr. Dom's got that done. Like, we're not hiring experts. We got them already. Dr. Dom's already doing it. Mary Newport is already doing it. Dr. Jeff Volek's already got that handled. I mean, if you want to be smart, then be smart. Like, do your thing. But I'd rather help thousands of people and make a grip of money than be the go-to guru expert person. Now, look, that doesn't mean you can't be a rock star. That doesn't mean you can't get famous. That doesn't mean you can't make lots of videos and have lots of video views. That doesn't mean you can't be the go-to authority in your community and in your business. But like, it's a different build. It's a different model. It's not all about me or all about you. It's actually about a third-party validation. So Dustin and I third-party validate each other. So Dustin will get on he'll meet somebody at an airport and then introduce him to me as the keto expert, because I am now. And then I'll introduce him as the business expert, because he is now. If he makes 50, 60, 70,000 a month, he's a hell of an entrepreneur. He's stuck in an $8,000 or $10,000 a month career prior to Prove It, helping hundreds of people. Now he's helping tens of thousands of people, and he's times 7, times 8, times 9 his income. And he's not commuting every single day like he used to. He doesn't have any expenditures. He's not in debt. He doesn't have a physical office he's paying for. He doesn't have any overhead or staff. He's not paying all the stuff that you have with a physical practice, but yet he's making more money and helping more people. Now, that worked for him. Everybody's at a different place in their career. So my goal is to help people break out of the walls of their practice. Most people are trying to just move Keto OS through their 4 walls of their practice. And I mean, it just depends on their goal. They can make some extra cash, but I mean, I don't know. I just have bigger aspirations than that. Like, I want to change literally entire communities, like not just families or individual people or the hometown that you live in and the 1,200 patients you have, or the 19 people that come in for Taekwondo 4 nights a week, or whatever it is. Right. somebody looks like she looks like she's getting ready to put me in a rear naked choke and literally choke me out. I better be careful. I'm going to end up with an arm bar right on the ground right here. But, you know, but to me, it's about inspiring and empowering and equipping brand new people. The challenge, if you're wearing literally a lab coat or a stethoscope or a freaking pocket protector and you're and you're wearing rubber gloves, of course the person's going to buy, but can they go and get their friends to buy? Never. You know why I have a big business? Because I'm the most relatable doofus goofball bastard you'll ever meet in your life. And when people meet me, they go, you got to be kidding me. That guy can do this? I'm going to crush it. But when people come into somebody's doctor's office, of course people are buying from the doctor. They're their doctor. So your friends don't have the influence with their friends that you do as their physician. So if they can't do to their friends what you're doing to them, it won't work. It just won't work. You can make some extra side cash, but I made 250 grand this month. You ain't going to make that. Can't make an extra 3 million this year inside the walls of your practice. It ain't going to work. Now, I know some of you are complete beasts, so don't misunderstand. I'm just looking for centers of influence of entire industries that recognize Keto OS as like the 2017 Muscle Milk, the 2017 Red Bull, the 2017 Viagra, the 2017 Power Bar, the 2017 Metrics protein shake, like the first of its kind, never been done before, category creator. Some of you are old enough to remember the first protein bar you ever ate in your life. Well, Popeye didn't have that luxury because the protein bar hadn't been invented yet. Neither did Rocky. Those guys had to eat real food in order to get protein in their body. You know, before GNC and the vitamin shop and the supplement shops existed, people had to eat real food. Now they don't. They can just supplement every damn thing. So they can eat garbage and then supplement whatever else they're missing. Well, I mean, tell me I'm wrong. The ketosis conversation is flying through the fitness community and the medical community like a hot knife through butter. And it's every area of it. There ain't a nook and cranny industry or vertical or area of medicine or research that ketosis is missing. I don't care if you're talking Alzheimer's. I don't care if you're talking fat loss or muscle preservation, bodybuilding, endurance athletes, fat guys wanting to get skinny, baby boomers with brain fog and hot flashes. And it doesn't matter what audience you're talking about. Ketones are it. And none of them know what they are. They don't. You could call 50 chiropractors in the greater Seattle and Portland area, and none of them know what this is. That's powerful. You can call 50 gyms, and they'll argue with you over the fact that you can't drink ketones. Yeah, I get in arguments with dietitians that you can or cannot drink beta-hydroxybutyrate. So to me, I just recognize what this is because of the pushback from those communities. If everybody was just all in, just instantly, then that would tell me that we're farther down the line. The fact that people are pushing back means we're right where we want to be. So I have this energy and I have this almost not scarcity because it's positive, it's not negative. I just have this belief system. I love that she's got an earpiece in and is literally either getting ready to teach a class or take a class. But can y'all see that? I just have this energy about me that tells me most people who should know what this is don't know what it is yet. So I just have a sense of urgency to get it in front of as many of the centers of influence as I can, because it's going to pop. Like, it's going to pop. I met with a lady the other day who runs all of Whole Foods social media for Los Angeles all the way to the Mexican border. All of San Diego, Orange County, LA, every Whole Foods, she runs all the social media campaigns, videos, marketing, graphics, flyers, everything. And I said, what's the number one thing happening inside of the grocery business other than Amazon buying you? And she says, keto. Everybody's eating keto. And I started laughing. She goes, I started eating keto 4 or 5 months ago. I've lost 40 pounds and I've never felt better. She goes, I started doing keto meetup groups. I started doing keto grocery parties where she's bringing people to Whole Foods and they're doing social get-togethers, purchasing groceries at Whole Foods in a ketogenic fashion. I'm like, you got to be freaking kidding me. Why? And she goes, because the more people I'm doing it with, the better at it I get. The longer I can stay on the keto train. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I go, can you imagine being able to build a business around it? Could you imagine if what you do for a living and what you're like, your own lifestyle could merge? Could you imagine if you could earn a living doing keto? And she's like, I would quit in a heartbeat. And I literally handed her 5 packs of Keto Max. And I was like, welcome to your future. you know, and she's just blown away by, you know, what's possible with the conversation. So look, I ramble, I get excited about what we're doing because I recognize not everybody on the Zoom. I know several of you, or I know of you more than I know you, but I just know what Dustin's been able to do. And I know how it took him like 6 months to 12 months to really get his feet underneath him like a newborn giraffe. But the last 6, 8, 12 months, his income has completely gone crazy. And I think he's getting ready to go to $250,000 a month in the next 6 to 12 months. But like he can he can generate more in personal income for his family than he could in the last 6 years, 8 years. But he can do it by helping more people and really, really championing this conversation about ketones that he's been so passionate about for so long. So like, you know, people will always ask why network marketing. Some people love it, some people hate it. The fact of the matter is I did more sales personally in my business in the last 2 days than any other company in ketosis, probably in 2 or 3 months. And I'm not special. We just have a better mousetrap. We have a bigger, faster model that people are sharing keto really, really rapidly. And most people still don't know what it is. It ain't going to sell at Whole Foods. It ain't going to sell at a freaking gym. It ain't going to sell sitting on the counter of a local business. It's not. People don't know what it is. So
hey, Michael, really quick,
yeah.
you just touched on something. So I was sitting at Whole Foods today, talking
to
a couple that actually been working with. I'll just say his name, Rob Wolf. I don't know if he's on this call. If you're on here, hey Rob, what's up? Been working with Rob Wolf as their nutritionist for many years with their son, who's literally got life-threatening issues. And I look over in him, and Rob had, I don't know if he just has an issue with network marketing or the distribution aspects or whatever it is. And we're waiting to get on a call because I know we've been talking to him on and off for the last couple of years or year and a half or so. And I looked over at him, I go, do you guys realize that Michael Rutherford is going to help more people in nutrition and health than Rob Wolf will? And he probably already has more than Rob Wolf will for his entire life. Like, I just said it, like it came out of my mouth, and I'm like, I mean, if you guys, I mean, Rob Wolf's a cool guy. I mean, nothing against him. He has, you know, he's really made a lot of big pushes and changes in how people have thought about nutrition, and he has a pretty big following. But it's just, and when people say, why network marketing, I'm like, or why community marketing, it's like, holy cow, that's why. You know what I mean? Like, that's just, when it came out of my mouth, I was just like, I've been following that guy since 2002 or 3 when he was really weird. And so, you know, it's just an interesting perspective. So I started to cut you off there, but.
I know. Watch this. Do you want to know why we're beating everybody's booty? Oh, hold on. Watch this. I'm just gonna pan the room and walk out the other door. Can y'all make some noise? Hold on. Hold on. I'm on with like 50 doctors. Do you want to know why we're smashing everybody and why no other keto company in the world means anything? This is why. You guys ready? There's no other rooms full of psychos drinking and sharing ketones. Sorry to interrupt. That's why. Rob ain't got that. Rob's a stud. He don't have that. The guy that owns Julian Bakery's my neighbor. He's my buddy. He don't have that. He'll never have that. He thinks it's about ketones. He's clueless. It isn't. It's about people. It's about community. It's about education. It's about inspiring other people to be a better version of themselves. And unless you have that component, it won't work. It just won't. We did 25 million in sales last month, and most of our people don't even know what ketones even are. They don't. I got the lady who's hosting this mixer made 150 grand last month, and that's irrelevant. It completely irrelevant. She was a teacher and her husband worked at Intel. They get a sample of Keto OS. They absolutely love it. They share it with a handful of friends, and in 5 months, they got a business that's already in total revenue, done 12 million in revenue in 5 months. Shit. Like, you got to ask yourself, what in the hell are you doing? Like, I don't mean to be rude or a jerk, but like, they're smashing everybody and they're clueless. They give a shit about people. That's what they do. They're not stuck in science. Dr. Dom's got the science nailed. It's done. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Dr. Jacob and Ryan, Mary Newport, all the rest of them, let Dustin go find all these guys. There's a bunch of specialists dying to climb in to prove it. They're dying to. We have every major specialist in the ketosis research industry dying to get our money because ain't nobody else got any money. Nobody has any money because there's no sales, because there's no education, because there's no community. Meanwhile, we've got Dr. Thomas Seyfried, like Dustin will tell you, every major researcher, every major military organization, NASA, the whole rest of them, all interested in what's happening. Half the stuff we can't even talk about. Thankfully, they don't tell me because I would tell you. But like, that's why. I mean, that's the thing everybody else is missing. It's our biggest asset. The powder's the powder's the powder. It just is. If it had anything to do with real products, McDonald's and Coca-Cola wouldn't be big businesses, but they are. They're the biggest. But what if we could take really quality stuff and get it to lots of people to the degree that they have? Well, we can. So, you know, I watch all kinds of people get stuck in the details that don't mean anything. They might mean something to your ego because you spent 25 years in college and you're $4 million in debt because you got 6 practices and you're trying to figure out how to unravel it all and actually have a real life and retire. That's just generally speaking, that's just the community that I see so often. They get so stuck in details that aren't actually going to grow their business. Samples are going to grow the business. That's it. Vulnerability and real people sharing real stories are going to grow the business. And that's what's great. I mean, that's what's expanded it. And I get super amped and pretty hot on that. And I hope you all understand my passion. If you know me, then you know I'm not actually a jerk. Sometimes I can't channel my energy the way that I'm intending to, but I just know what we have. And people need ketones as much as they need our business. Most of America is as broke as they are fat. They are in debt as much as they are not getting sleep. They need the ability to share ketones to make money and get free ketones just as much as they need ketones themselves. And people are either going to embrace that or they're not. So I get a sneak. I feel like I yelled at y'all. Now I'm going to hang up. But I appreciate you guys jumping on. I really do. I'm glad Dustin's still on. He'll be nicer than I will. But let me jump in here. These people are freaking out. There's literally 100 people in Portland.
Hey, Mike, appreciate it. I truly do. Very much so. Hey, what's up, Croydon? How are you doing, sir?
Good, man.
Hey, we really missed you in Costa Rica. It just seemed like it felt like it's like you had a bachelor party without the groom there. It's kind of weird, but it felt like we were just not there. Like the hat, by the way. So what do we want to chat about? I mean, I just know you guys have a lot of cool places. I mean, it's hard to follow up Michael. And is there anything specifically you wanted me to just chime in on at any point?
Yeah, man. There's one thing that it blew my mind was obviously the first event that I came to with Joe, the Keto Academy Tampa last year, and then I saw the bigger vision and decided to go all in and step up. And when I got to Epic, I was at rank 7, and then I got to the last Keto Academy and more, and I was rank 8. And I just remember just through that whole period of these people that are just growing massively fast. And I was like, and I know there's a lot of people on this call that are champ 6s, rank 6s, rank 7s that I feel are we're all getting way too comfortable. And I just want you to just let people know the vision of the opportunity again of this company and this, that what we have in front of us, and the importance of also getting to events, because every time I get to events, I'm blown away. And that's, like I'm even flying over now to Ohio on the 25th to go to Canada as well to build my business in that area, because I'm in love with this and I see the opportunity and I want what you guys want. I know that you just got to show up and go at it all in and play full out. So what can you share with us, every doc that's on this?
Well, I think you just did it. I think you just hit it out of the park. What I can really say on that is, and I'm going to talk to you guys as I'm looking in the mirror to myself, because I spent all day today when I was talking with the people that have been working with Rob for many years. And if you don't know who Rob Wolf is, I mean, he's a pretty powerful guy in the alternative world of just shaking things up. And one of the ladies that introduced me to him is she's a trainer. Her husband's a chiropractor. They do well, actually. They live in Southern California. They actually own the building they're in. But he does ART. He works his butt off. He works 5 days a week. He doesn't You know, he doesn't take much breaks. His body's just wearing down. And she's like, man, Dustin, she's like, I'm 50 years old. And it's like, we don't have a good enough exit plan, you know? And even though they have a building, they have some retirement, she's like, I'd rather spend the next 20, 30, 40 years with my husband and we can go and enjoy the world. Well, that's the same boat that we're in right now. And when you start looking at what this is and the vision of where this goes, and one of the things I think that it took me a while to figure out is really the power of network marketing, community marketing. And I'll be completely brutally honest with you. I was fortunate, maybe not fortunate, maybe this is just my style, is that the one thing I know is go find people that have what you want and go get around them, go copy them, go learn from them. So in the world that I'm in, I went and found the two top guys, I believe, in the performance of human body from an athletic and a muscle activation or the Charles Poliquin. And I went and mentored and learned from them. I just went to every course multiple times because I wanted to learn from the best. So what I did is when I started with this company, I went and found arguably two of the top network marketers, maybe of all time, or at least if there's I don't know if there's a Hall of Fame or not, but they'd probably be in it. They personally have done over $1 billion in sales personally in this industry. And I sat down and had lunch with them. Now, keep in mind, I've never done this industry before, but I've always wanted to, at least for the last, 8, 9 years, because I'm watching people that know very little about the body, very little about the health, and frankly, probably have less this burning desire just to kick ass than I do. I mean, maybe I'm judging them. I know, I get it, but I just can look at myself as a competitor my whole life. And I'm like, man, they're crushing it. And they have a lot more freedom and flexibility in their life than I have. I'm bound to my office. I'm bound to my facility. I'm bound to my clients. I don't have all the flexibility and freedom that I'm looking for. Well, I'm talking to these guys, and the two pieces of advice I got from them is the first one, they both said this. Now, one of them is, I mean, technically you could say a competitor to prove it. And I was just fortunate to be able to spend some time with them. Actually, we got stuck in a jet together. So it wasn't necessarily a choice, but it worked out really well for us. And they both said the same advice. They both of them said this. They go, listen, everything that we've seen in this industry in my entire career, you guys are sitting on something that they both said almost exactly, I've never seen before, where you have a hero product, but a hero product is a product that you can look at penicillin. You believe in it or not believe in it, it's a hero product, meaning anybody can consume it and it can make a difference in somebody's life very fast, right? Whatever your beliefs in the end of the day is irrelevant, but it can just make that impact, right? So you have a hero product that's actually really good for you. And he goes, they both know the ownership and the leadership of the company. I'm talking about the owners that prove it. They said this is the last thing you'll ever have to do. It's your choice of where you wanted to go. And then the second piece of advice they both gave me is don't screw it up. Like legitimately don't mess it up. That's what their advice was. Because I know where they're at financially in their life. I understand. I see the freedom and flexibility they get to have. They get to do kind of whatever they want, whenever they want. Now they have their own problems, right? But money's not it, and freedom to do whatever they want is not it. And so I would just say this: if you really want to, and this is the shift I had to make, guys. And I know we're all probably in a similar situation. Is that I was watching a bunch of people like Michael Rutherford and a bunch of people that knew nothing about health and wellness or science or even helping people in general from a medical application, helping more people, making more money than I am, but I'm a competitor. And so 6 months into this, when I saw my wife play with my son on her hands, or not my wife, I'm saying my mom, get on her hands and knees and chase my son around the house when she could barely move and she couldn't hold him and walk at the same time a year earlier, I called Michael and Brian up and I'm like, hey guys, this isn't working for me. Like, teach me, what do I need to do to help people? What do I need to do to make a bigger difference? What do I need to do to catch what everybody else is doing? And they both looked at me and they said, stop talking about the product. You already know what it is. Start learning the business. So you couldn't pay me to look up anything on research on ketones or ketosis. I actually host the biggest ketone event in the world. And only time I look up anything around ketones and ketosis is I look up the current research of the professor or the researcher that I have on stage so I can talk about it. Otherwise, I don't research, I don't look any of it up. What I do is I go and study under the top network marketers in the world. I look up Jim Rohn, I look up Art Williams, I look up Eric Rory, I look up, what's the other guy's name? Michael was just showing me his name. I'll get it out to you guys. But I go and learn from them. I read the books on how the power of network marketing. As soon as I did that, I went from a team of 600 people to 12,000 people almost overnight, and I passed every one of them and grew one of the biggest teams in Prove It. I just had to make the 2-degree shift to kind of like, the product is what it is. But what I know deep in my heart is what's going to happen in the next 3 to 5 years. And just think about this for a second from an entrepreneur mindset, right? Is like, you can't compare it. I mean, technically you could. You can look at what Amazon did, what Google did, but look at what any major innovator have done in the next 3 to 5 years. Ketones is going to be the conversation in all of medicine, all of fitness, and all of health. It's not deniable. It's finally, we have something that can actually be researched based. Almost everything that we as health practitioners recommend, there's research on it, but it's not that strong. It's not this strong. And so we actually have something that can make a transition in the health of our country. And it's not just our product. Like Michael said, it's not the product, it's the community that drives it, because it's going to be the biggest conversation in health in a long time. It's already starting, but it's going to take 3 to 5 years to ramp that thing up. It's just who wants to take massive action on it. And if you want to take massive action on it, it's about the community. It's about the platform that we have. And the people that take that massive action right now are the ones that are going to win long term. If the ones that don't, they're going to say, well, that thing didn't work for me. No, it works. I've been seeing enough of this. Network marketing works. It said, are you teachable, leadable? Are you willing to learn? Are you willing to be challenged? Are you willing to change your frame of work and where you're looking at it from? And our platform is really simple. It really is. It's third-party validation, and that's hard for really smart people to let other people do the talk. Keep in mind, when I came into this, I'm very teachable. I'm militant. I was in the military. I played college ball. I was an athlete. So I'm used to being told what to do and listening. And so Michael's like, listen, you cannot talk to anybody about this product. You have to let me do all the talking. I'm like, okay. So Michael Rutherford was my product expert. He didn't even know what ketones were, but that's the system that we're in. So I had to honor the system, because he was teaching me his world and I was teaching him my world, right? So I had to listen to his directive because he knew his world better than I did. And so first thing is I had to allow the third-party validation come in and let somebody else do the major talking, and that was him. The second thing is that you learn the basic building blocks of our rewards plan. It's very simple. It's go pro, go MVP, and go all-star. The reward plan doesn't matter. Anything else beyond that doesn't matter until you get to rank 6 and rank 7. And at that time, you just get 1,000 new volume every month, right? If you want to maximize a rewards plan. And then the last thing is about going to events. Let the community train your people for you. If you get people to events, everything in your business changes. And I think I would add one more component, because I don't know if you guys told me, Croydon, but I actually wanted this Zoom to happen because something happened to me. Actually, let me go back for a second. So when I was in a meeting with one of the owners of Prove It, I got 10 minutes with him. And he told me this. He goes, listen, these are the 3 things you need to know. And so keep in mind, he's telling me this out of a framework that he built a company, not owned it. He actually did it like a promoter in 1997 or 96 that does $150,000 in volume, or he does $150,000 in income a month to this day, based on what he built back in 95. Now that's power, right? That's what I'm looking for. That's what I want in my business. And he goes, number one, third party validation. Let somebody else do the talking. You're just introducing people. Second thing is learn the basic building blocks of your rewards plan and forget the rest. And the last thing is get as many people to events as possible. He goes, whatever you do, it's about you're in the event business. Get people to the events. If you don't like our events, you need them the most. And Joel will tell you, Croydon will tell you, our events are pretty awesome. And well, I love them. But last thing on that is, I was on the way to Costa Rica, guys, and I get this guy killing me on Facebook. He's trying to talk to us, but we're traveling. I didn't know who he was. I'm trying to find out who he is. I thought it was maybe a new prospect that wanted to sign up underneath me directly. I'm like, awesome. Turns out he's been on my team for 3 months. And I'm like, well, this guy really wants to win. Why haven't any of us talked to him? And so it's something I want to extend my hand out here, because Croydon, I know that your team has expanded rapidly back into the United States. And I know we've gotten to really work closely with Chuck and Brett and Tony Lacey. We have to work really close with some of your team, but there's a lot of team members here that we haven't got to really lock arms with. And I want to do a better job of that, because you're not alone, guys. We can grow this thing, we can multiply it together. We got Andrew out in Colorado. I love Colorado. Get me out there. And so let's spend more time trying to really grow this thing back in the States and not let anybody feel like they're not being supported, and then cast the vision further, because this opportunity it's just huge. The next 2 years is going to truly define. My wife is an attorney. She's actually folding, getting out of law to do prove it, because it's a better opportunity for her than being a lawyer is. And just to give you kind of a perspective of what we think this is, and we just have it. It's just time who's going to go get it.
Awesome. Yeah, I totally agree, and thank you so much for sharing that, Dustin. And yeah, I mean that's the simple steps, right? Third-party validation, building blocks of GoPro Go MVP. I mean, that is the foundation. You create an MVP factory, then you're starting to build a big business, and then get to events. And so obviously the next event, the big regional, is in Dallas, and then I just want to throw it out there as well, like who's actually locked in for Keto Academy and more in Vegas in September. And I know I have definitely booked my flight, my accommodations booked, etc. And it's obviously the event business. Who do you know that can get the more bums on seats wins, basically? And I'm super fired up for it. And I just wanted to throw this out to anyone. And I'd like to do this sort of fortnightly as well, Dustin, if possible. But yeah, just this is an opportunity. In the end, we're under the umbrella of Prove It. But I definitely needed to make sure that I took personal responsibility of building my own business as well, and do phase 1 activity. And that's never stopped. I always look for new promoters and helping people want it. So if any of you docs that are listening to this right now and you don't feel like you're getting the support, or you want to step up and sick of playing small game and really want to step up and play big game, then personal message me, or personal message your closest rank 6 circle of champion. And if you're ready to go on fire, I'll pour gas all over you. And I know Joe, and I know Dustin and Michael will do the same. So Dustin, thank you so much again. I really, really appreciate it. Joe, did you want to chime in with anything? In Fiji, his internet's not the best, but all good? Cool.
Yeah, no, since my internet sucks so bad, I mean, I'd love to go on about why this is, especially right now, and what's going to go on over the next 3 months, and why it's so important. But if my internet sucks, I'm going to leave that for another time, and certainly there's going to be lots more to talk about it, because what's going on right now is absolutely unreal.
Awesome. Well, thanks everyone for getting on. I have recorded this as well if you need to get this Zoom out to someone else. But appreciate your time. I know it's getting a little bit late on the East Coast, and I look forward to catching up again. If you want it, then come and get it, jump on and reach out. So thanks everyone. I'm going to unmute everyone and you can say goodbye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
You guys rock.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.